So complexity is always a positive thing, as long as companies like us manage to hide those complexity and bring the real value to you. I was sharing my age last night with some of my colleagues. I used to program in a binary code in PDP-11s. And for those of you who remember, it was 3 bits. So I actually need to flip a bunch of switches, put in the code, then I needed to read actually read the content of the code. Also remember when I used to sell 1 megabytes of disk for $300,000. Today we give cards, business cards that has more than 1 gig for free. Time has changed. We heard this morning from my good colleague from Mitel, Paul, who said the rate of change is accelerating. I could not agree more. Absolutely. But our job should be to hide those complexity and ensure that we bring a real business value to you. And that's what we're doing together with NetManager. So a bit of an introduction in terms of a concept. IBM introduced an autonomic networking, autonomic computing concept. And in 2004, Ipanema actually came up with a product. We actually created a company in 2001. And in 2004, we actually had a product that was based on autonomic networking concept. I'll share with you what autonomic means in a second. And now, autonomic networking is a concept and a discipline that is accepted outside of the academic institutions. So autonomic networking, what does it mean? The best way to describe it to you is the body system. My body temperature is around 37 degrees, and it remains that way unless I have a problem and my body actually adjusts to it. Another way of looking at it is a Chinese medicine. Some of you may be aware, but today, President Obama is really struggling to pass this healthcare bill in the US because it's broken. But you don't have that issue here because you have NHS. So when you look at what we're trying to achieve in the US and you look at it how China is trying to address that, it's 2 different ways. Chinese medicine is totally different because it's holistic. So our view of the network is holistic. We don't look at a node, we look at the entire network. And we don't try to fix one thing one place by breaking it elsewhere. And again, I share with you how we approach that. So the first thing you need to make sure in autonomic networking is to run a network with a touch of a finger. And how do you do that? You actually go into the network and realize what are you running in terms of an application. Because you are running the network in order to run an application. You'll be able to see the kind of an application you're running on your network. You can then provide it a specific type of an objective that is relevant to your business. If SAP is important for you, it may not be important for me. And being able to pass that objective in one shot to the network. We heard today words like adaptive. This is an adaptive type of a network. A network that can adjust itself. It's not static-based routing. It is an adaptive-based routing. It is an ability to be able to inform and enforce a certain configuration to a network without breaking all the other pieces of that network. Network becomes predictable by having this approach. You provide a full visibility to it. Then you apply what we call an optimization. You optimize the network. Optimization does not mean acceleration, because you cannot accelerate a voice communication. You cannot accelerate a video telepresence or a video call. But optimization means how does the network supposed to be behaving towards the specific application that you specified in order to define and deliver that kind of a performance for you. Once you do that, then you may apply different types of techniques to that form of optimization. You may use compression techniques. You may use caching, either RAM-based or disk-based caching, accelerate if you have to. But keep in mind, you only need to do that once you know what it is you run on that network. If not, you're simply doing something to the network without knowing what other problem you're going to be raising. Again, going back to the Chinese medicine, I don't know how many of you have gone into acupuncture, but often if you have an issue someplace in your body, you may be surprised that they actually fix something else in another part of the body. That's how it works. So this is a real concept. The companies that I just put a sample of the European service providers. And I put Tata because apparently they bought Jaguar. So they have, I put this in here, and you see that we have built a very strong partner base for us that are offering this solution on top of the network. And I'm very pleased to see that Britannic has adopted the same concept, the same technology, and they're now applying it to customers. This is a list of the customers that we have been able to capture in a relatively short period of time, and the list is growing. We heard today about virtualization. We heard today about how virtual machines are being created. We heard about how people are moving from a virtual servers to a virtual storage environment to a virtual communication base. But today, the ability for you to be able to guarantee the performance of your application over the WAN as the traffic on that internet is going to continue to grow, whether you are an IP VPN base or a pure internet, that's going to be critical. Today, it's estimated about 10 hexabyte of data, IP data that is being traveled over this network. And that is going to grow over the course of the next 4 years to approximately 60 hexabyte. When you have a traffic size that it's multiplying like this, you can't just leave your application on a best effort. Maybe it gets there, but if it doesn't, it's going to be trying to get back into it. So your ability to be able to guarantee that performance and making sure that your requirement from your service providers there in order to support the business is going to be critical. Again, to hide the complexity. It's about hiding the complexity and managing that and being able to give you the control. Being able to give you the control so that you'll be able to perform in the best possible way in order to deliver the services to your constituents. So whether you're going through a Web 2.0, virtualization world, data consolidation, or you're deploying a new type of an application that suddenly it's degrading your performance in another application, this is what you need to be looking at. I encourage you to stop by and see what we do. And I'm not going to take too much time. I'm beginning to feel that people are waiting for your presentation, so I'm going to pass the baton to you. Thank you very much.